Hey guys, how's it going? It is your boy, Manga Man Drew, and I'm here to do my manga review and reaction to Chainsaw Man, manga chapter 133. And last time we were reading Chainsaw Man, we saw that both DENJI as well as NAYUTA were both kidnapped by, if I remember correctly, and I remembered his name, I believe it's Yoshida. Yes, Yoshida. Most likely in this chapter, we're going to learn more about the organization that Yoshida is a part of and why they need to keep DENJI, aka Chainsaw Man, safe. So, you know what? Let's just dive right into the chapter and see what's going on. And from what we get with the first page, we're getting people, in a way, protesting to a certain extent, where we have the title of the chapter, Chainsaw Man Protest. Oh, wow, I was really right on the money there, as we get just a lot of people that has like signs on them. One of them says Hunt Chainsaw Man, another one says Chainsaw Man's a devil. So, you know, there are going to be a whole bunch of like different signs and different people with different like opinions or beliefs when it comes to Chainsaw Man, as we have Yoshida's like, I want to show you these protesters. They're calling for public safety to treat Chainsaw Man as a devil, to put him down. As you just have DENJI's like, but why? I'm a good boy. And you just have Yoshida says, because they don't like you. And you just have DENJI's just like looking at Yoshida. Oh. As we have Yoshida chime again, is like, those guys clashing with the protesters are followers of the Chainsaw Man church thing, right? As you have DENJI's like, why are they fighting the protesters? And you just have Yoshida saying, because they like you. Ooh. And now DENJI has sort of a spark in his eye. So this is getting very interesting. And let's see if I can go on to the next page. As you have DENJI's like, kinda feels nice having people fight over me. And DENJI's just looking at this entire thing with just this expression of just like, I don't know how I should feel about this. As Yoshida, we don't see his eyes, but most likely he's going to have a feeling about this either way. As most likely one of these people are talking right now. This is most likely Yoshida talking. And he's saying that before the Chainsaw Man church considered largely of your fans and devil victims. Recently, though, increasing numbers of young people are joining just for the hell of it. I'm told members now exceed 20,000. The bulk of them are still in school, but eventually they'll be old enough to vote. Apparently, politicians are already starting to contribute supplies to the church too. Oh, okay. You no longer have sole control over Chainsaw Man. Hopefully, it would stop at these smaller protests, but there was a chance of Chainsaw Mania evolving into a larger conflict. As you have DENJI just puffing his mouth, is like, oh wait, noise. Oh boy, I love the fact that I live on a busy area. Oh! And then you just have DENJI responding to Yoshida's comments of like, and what do I gotta do to see NAYUTA and the dogs? As Yoshida's like, I want you to do absolutely nothing. As you have DENJI's like, what's that mean? I wonder what that means. I'm asking you to never transform into Chainsaw Man again. As you have DENJI like gritting his teeth and saying, hell no. Oh my god. And then, sorry, I read a little bit ahead, and this is very terrifying. Yoshida was like just sitting there, hands on his like sides or hands on his thighs, looking at DENJI. It's like, if you keep turning into Chainsaw Man, we'll be showing you NAYUTA's corpse. And DENJI just has like a dropped jaw expression on his face. Ah, man. As you just have him saying, I heard that you long to live a normal life. Simply stop transforming and that dream comes true with NAYUTA at your side. This is your chance to be human again, DENJI. As you just have DENJI's head beginning to bow. And you should have just Yoshida's like, you'll go to school the same as always. I can even hang out with you as a friend. You'll go home to those who love you, NAYUTA and the dogs. Live as a human, DENJI. You'll be happy enough, even without being Chainsaw Man, won't you? Ooh, please tell me we're going to get power. Like, please tell me DENJI's going to remember power. He's like, no, there's still something I have to do as Chainsaw Man. Please, please, please let this be the case. As you just have DENJI's like, but I I want to be Chainsaw Man. I want everyone to pay attention to me. And you have Denji just conflicted as you just have Yoshida's like, did you understand me? If you turn into Chainsaw Man, public safety will kill Nayuta. And you have Denji's like, I don't want that either, but I also don't want to stop being Chainsaw Man. It's like, I want people to fight protesters for me. And you just have Yoshi's like, look, Denji, the time has come for you to choose between Nayuta's life and your greedy desires. Oh no. And you just have Denji's like, I choose two choices. And you just have Yoshida's like, you can only choose one. And he's like, I choose both. Don't you care if Nayuta dies? Protesters, assemble. Kill this guy for me. As you just have Yoshida just smiling. It's like, he's even dumber than I thought. As you hear someone say, Denji! Ooh, I wonder who it is. And you just have you have Nayuta. It's like, Denji! Nayuta! As someone is just... Oh, I get it now. I think I get it. As we see that someone... As Denji is saying Nayuta, someone is punching another guy in the face, and they just reconnect. They hug with all the dogs. You know what? For a split second, I was a little bit terrified that something bad would happen to Nayuta, and then I remember Nayuta is the control devil, so there's literally nothing anyone can do. And you just have Nayuta's like, you stink, and you just have Denji's like, cause I haven't had a bath. As you just have Yoshida's like, it's too soon to let them meet. And it's like, huh? You weren't done yet? And you just have Yoshida just like sweat dripping. Oh, was this a ploy? And you just have Yoshida's like, listen to me, Denji. You are about to choose Nayuta's life and get sent home together. Why? No. As you have Denji's like, whatever this must have proven it to you. If you turn into Chainsaw Man, public safety will kill Nayuta. As Nayuta's like, excuse me? Denji, tell this guy to F off now. As you have Yoshida and Denji just locking eyes. And you just have Denji's like, you done? Then we're going home. As they walk away. And you just have Yoshida talk to this guy that's like, did he not understand me? Oh, as the chapter ends. Oh, okay. This is fun. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, I'm not gonna say that I'm disappointed, because I'm not. I'm far from disappointed. Chainsaw Man cannot disappoint me at this point. But I did think that maybe something grander was going to happen. I mean, let's go over what really happened in this chapter. A conversation. That's pretty much what this entire chapter was. A conversation between a conversation about Nayuta between Denji and Yoshida. I believe his name is Yoshida. I swear if I've been saying it wrong, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. So give me a moment. Yes, it is Yoshida. And this is something that this entire chapter was about. A conversation between Denji and Yoshida, where Denji comes to learn about the fact that his influence of Chainsaw Man has led people to protest. People who are protesting against Chainsaw Man and want him to be considered a devil, and those who actively look up to him. And this is very interesting because this is actually very politically accurate to like what really happens in the real world, because we have people who are opposed to change or have a certain belief, and typically speaking, young people are involved with changing these like ideals, or are more a counterculture, or are more against the norm, where the norm would be down with Chainsaw Man, down with devils. The newer generation would be like, yeah, no, he's not as bad as you people are saying, so we're going to support and fight for him. And they bring up a good point in this chapter about how eventually these people who are protesting on behalf of Chainsaw Man to allow him to still remain as what he is, a actual sort of pseudo hero, that eventually they're going to be the voting party. If they're willing to take this all the way, their numbers will eventually outnumber those who are against Chainsaw Man, and even politicians are realizing that now by supporting the protesters against the people against Chainsaw Man. So if anything, what we get in this chapter with this conversation really is indicative of how our real world would work if something like this were to exist in our real world. You have people who would be like, down with the devils, they're against God, while you have people that would be like, yo, they literally exist, like we should support them, they have feelings. So it's very complex, and to an extent it is a little bit more nuanced. And then you remember that as DENJI, and nuance immediately goes out the window, because what the crux of this chapter is the conflict between DENJI and Yoshida, where DENJI has to make a choice. He has to either remain Chainsaw Man and have NAYUTA eventually die and the dogs die by the hands of Yoshida and the individuals a part of the Devil's Hunter organization, I believe, or he lives a normal life with NAYUTA, and the dogs, and he just can't become Chainsaw Man. And, you know, DENJI, as DENJI does, he picks the third option, which is both of the options, and that he literally won't accept anything else. And we see that it seems to be like a losing situation for him, that he won't be able to continue to be Chainsaw Man while dealing and saving and protecting NAYUTA. And Yoshida is really emphasizing this point, until it's turned on his head, where we see that NAYUTA is safe and that she was always safe, and that Yoshida put too much faith in the idea that DENJI would make a choice, and then he begins to realize how dumb DENJI is, but it's that ignorance and that like naivete that DENJI has sometimes that allows him to pretty much get what he wants. In the end of the chapter, even though he said that he didn't have a choice, he had to pick one or the other, he was able to have his cake and eat it too. And this is probably going to be another struggle that DENJI is going to be going through, not just the Nostradamus prophecy, which may fall more on us' side of the spectrum, but for DENJI in this part, he may have to deal with the fact of juggling Chainsaw Man and being Chainsaw Man and the potential life or death of NAYUTA, and what would happen if he continues being Chainsaw Man, and whether or not it will negatively affect her or potentially get her killed. So even though he did not make the choice definitively now, the story may be building up to a point where he makes the choice later on, which will either him become not Chainsaw Man, either live a normal life, maybe even both, or maybe he loses everything. We don't know, but this is going to most likely be the crux of DENJI's story in this part, and I can't wait to see where we're going to be building up from there. But yeah, this is pretty much my review and reaction to this chapter of Chainsaw. I will say that what I enjoyed most about this chapter is just how we get to see the characters interact in a more realistic situation. Very much a political aspect in Chainsaw Man is becoming a little bit more prominent, and just getting to see these characters interact, really getting to see how DENJI is able to push Yoshida's buttons, and how Yoshida is trying to push DENJI towards a solution that he would be profiting from, but eventually neither one of them really getting what they exactly wanted until the very end, at least for DENJI, and Yoshida now has to figure out a way to get what he wants, while also dealing with the fact that DENJI is just not that smart. So overall, I really did enjoy the interactions between these characters. I really enjoyed the real metatextual context and relationship to the real world when it comes to politics, and really, I just like Chainsaw Man, so that's all I really have to say. But hey, let me ask you this. What did you think of the chapter? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Leave your thoughts down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see more content like this. Do all that cool jazz, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in my next video. Goodbye!